Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips ranging from strange UFO sightings to clips of cryptids we never even thought could exist. Ready to have your mind blown? Well, let's dive in. Starting the day's episode, we've got this video from a home security camera that was recorded on the 5th of January 2025. Take a good look at it. What do you see? At first, it looks like an odd reflection or a malfunction, but if you look closely, it almost looks like something is emerging from the light. The brightness makes it impossible to tell exactly what it was, leaving the footage open to interpretation. Some believe this could be a portal of some kind with an entity stepping through. However, when the homeowner went outside to investigate, there was nothing there. Could this be a natural phenomenon, or are we witnessing something much stranger? Aaron, of course, wants us to believe there's more at play, say an otherworldly being stepping into our plane, but the homeowner checked it out and there was nothing there. Do you think the homeowner missed something, or was he rather possessed by it? Please don't come at me for this one, but, well, think about it. It wouldn't be strange now, would it? Here we have another bizarre security camera clip that was recorded from a community camera overlooking the roads late at night. In the footage, a young woman in a white dress appeared walking alone through the darkness. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual, just a woman out for a nighttime walk, but then people noticed something strange about her legs. Look closely. Her feet don't look human at all. They resemble hooves. Now, you might think it's just stilettos, but look closer. The footage doesn't seem to show heels, at least not in the traditional sense. If they are, then they're unusually thin, but then again, the clip isn't that clear, so they could really just be stilettos in low resolution. Nonetheless, this instantly brought to mind the mythical satyr. For those unfamiliar with it, it's a creature that's part human, part goat. I mean, we could also be looking at a nymph, which some consider a female equivalent. Could this woman actually be one, or is there some other explanation for this eerie sight? While we're on the topic of half-human, half-goat beings, take a look at this footage from Africa. This video shows a man sitting on a floor wailing. What's striking is that he appears to have goat legs and a small tail at the back. We see lots of individuals surrounding him, and the story is that he may have offended someone who decided to punish him by turning him into an animal. Unlike the other clips where many individuals are sharing their thoughts and theories, many who saw this were skeptical that it was real and stated that he was just probably pretending with his legs buried in the sand. What do you see in the clip? So you tell me what you think. When you visit a dog park or page, you expect nice and interesting tricks. The last thing you expect to see is a creepy clip, and this one is.
Ох, завел сегодня коп в жуткое место. Такие руины. И вот, неспокойно, как бы вот еще солнце не зашло, а как-то мрачно, очень мрачно. Еще и в колодце что-то шипит. Может, ужик.
The man filming is Russian, and he was exploring an area with his dog until he started to feel uneasy.
Ох, завел сегодня коп
Now, we hear him talk, but none of us speaks Russian, so we had to count on members of the community, and one person mentioned that he said that he felt uneasy there. He said the energy was not right and it creeped him out, even though it was daylight. He felt uneasy. Something about the atmosphere in this area was deeply unsettling for him, and a few seconds in, we see why. As the camera pans around, he approaches an abandoned well. The well's opening had sticks nailed across it, leaving small gaps that revealed only darkness below. Suddenly, something catches his eye. Inside the well, he spots a glowing pair of eyes staring directly at him. The moment he realizes what he's looking at, the man bolts from the scene without hesitation. Could it be that this creature in the well was the source of his unease all along? If so, what was it, and why did the area feel so unnervingly heavy? We'd love to hear your theories on this one.
Неспокойно, как бы вот еще солнце не зашло, а как-то мрачно, очень мрачно. Еще и в колодце что-то шипит. Может, ужик.
All across the U.S., people have been reporting sightings of strange objects in the sky, all with a remarkably similar description. They look like octopuses, their tentacles flailing about as if alive. Take a look at this first clip captured by a witness in Thermal, California.
What? Can you keep driving? It looks like an alien.
Look at that. It appears almost alive, like an actual octopus floating in the sky. Now, in the second clip, another witness records the same phenomenon, but in a completely different location. The uncanny realism of these sightings has led many to speculate that it could be a hoax involving drones or elaborate props because of how lifelike the movements are. Others suggest it might just be an unusual kite or balloon, but some members of the community like Aaron and co. believe this is alien-related. You've seen it. What do you also think? Don't you also think it's a little bit ironic that there's a place called Thermals in California where things are just floating in the air? Thermals, get it?
Thing. Keep driving.
Is it a drone?
What? Can you keep driving?
It looks like an alien.
A woman was driving down a quiet path near a field when something unusual caught her eye. In the middle of the field stood a pale figure dressed in what appeared to be white robes. At first, it seemed like a statue because it was standing perfectly still with its head tilted awkwardly to the side, but then the head moved slightly and it became clear this wasn't a statue at all. As the woman continued filming while driving by, the figure began to move. Slowly and deliberately, it crouched down into the tall grass, almost as if it had noticed her and was trying to hide. Whatever this was, it didn't seem entirely human. The pale appearance, the strange movements, and the eerie setting all make this sighting deeply unsettling. Some suggest it might be a scarecrow, but a scarecrow wouldn't be capable of complex movement. Others suggest it might even be a rake or a wendigo, but it's hard to lean toward any. At least it is for me, but what do you guys think this is? The fires and other strange occurrences happening in Los Angeles right now might not be mere coincidences or accidents. It turns out there's a plan to turn LA into a smart city. While that sounds like a good thing, sometimes to build up something better, and I use better here carefully, there's the need to destroy what already exists. The way the fires unfolded and completely devastated large areas is very questionable. Could it all be part of an orchestrated effort to clear out parts of the city and force people to relocate? This is the site of the Information Technology Agency, ITA, which is spearheading an initiative called Smart LA 2028. Their ambitious plan involves transforming Los Angeles into a fully integrated smart city. Among other things, they aim to implement cashless systems and various high-tech advancements. You can visit their website to see the full scope of their vision. It's bold, to say the least. Large-scale destruction clearing areas for redevelopment and modernization isn't really new, just that it's never been done this way. In fact, there's no evidence to suggest that these plans are the reason for the fire. But what if they are? Sounds chilling, doesn't it? Is this just speculation, or could there be more to it? The dots are there, so you draw your own conclusions. We're all familiar with the story of how Satan fell from heaven to earth, right? This story is told across various religions and beliefs, but what if something similar was captured on a security camera? This eerie footage shows what appears to be a lightning strike late at night. At first glance, it seems like a regular storm. But here's where it gets strange. The lightning lasted much longer than usual, and then something fell from the sky to earth. Take a close look. Right there on the left, something clearly descends after the lightning strikes. Almost immediately after this fall, everything goes completely dark. That's definitely not normal, is it? Now, some claim it's an alien falling from the sky, while others suggest it might be a spacecraft crash landing. What do your eyes see? A man was driving home late at night when he came across something unsettling. This strange figure standing on the side of the road. At first, it appeared to be just a man wearing a black t-shirt and pants. But as the driver got closer and began filming, he noticed something was off. The figure's face looked grotesquely distorted, almost as if it couldn't be real. Initially, he thought it might be someone wearing an odd mask. However, the closer he got, the clearer it became that this was no mask. The figure stood eerily still, hands clasped behind its back, with its unnerving face fixed on the driver. Its head slowly turned, following the vehicle as it passed by, creating an almost unbearable sense of dread. Julius, of course, described as gullible for believing this, but, well, I can't say I have believed it yet either. The figure was compared to black-eyed children, which are essentially otherworldly creatures that take the form of little children. Someone even asked if we had heard of no-mouth children, but, well, that couldn't be a thing, right? This next video was shared by an older sister who found it while going through her little sister's camera. What she saw was a strange and creepy vlog that gave her chills. In the video, her little sister was in her room, playing in a fort she had built and proudly showing off her toys. At one point, she even showcased her Skibbity toilet toy, happily talking about it. But then, something unsettling happened. Mid-sentence, the little girl abruptly stopped talking and looked at the corner of the room. Her mouth slightly opened as she stared, completely frozen. After a few tense moments, she abandoned her toys, got up, and hurried out of the room in apparent fear. But here's the creepiest part. After the little girl left, a shadowy figure appeared in the footage. You can see it's a tall, dark shape that walks by the opening of the fort. Is this what the little girl saw? What could this shadowy figure be? Some in the community suggest it could be a spirit, while others think her mother should check the room to make sure unauthorized humans were not accessing it. Personally, I doubt that was human, but let's hear your thoughts. Some security guards were reviewing footage from their cameras when they stumbled upon something truly bizarre. In the video, a woman was standing alone at night in an empty area. At first, everything seemed normal until smoke began to appear all around her out of nowhere. There was no fire or source that could explain it. Then, something even stranger happened. The woman lifted her hand, and sparks of flame seemed to ignite from a palm. The smoke grew thicker, completely engulfing her, and just like that, she vanished into the cloud of smoke as if she was never there. But what could this mean? Could this be some form of magic? Was that a witch? Well, it's hard to say, but many in the community refused to accept this as a trick and stated that there was definitely something ritualistic or mystical at play. The safest bet is that she's a witch. Do you have a logical explanation for this, or would you go with the witchcraft analogy? Let's hear your thoughts on this one. Again, we're back to the LA fires of 2025, which remain one of the most tragic of wildfires in recorded history. I mean, take a look at this heartbreaking moment captured on video. A homeowner stood helplessly as his house was engulfed in flames. With no way to save it, he could only watch as everything that they had worked for was reduced to ashes. As the fire consumed his house, the owner walked away, pausing briefly to share a final can of beer before leaving it all behind. This tragedy has left countless people displaced and homeless. Families have lost everything, and the devastation extends beyond humans. Many animals have been affected, with their habitats destroyed by the relentless blaze. It's hard to actually see this without getting emotional. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone impacted by this catastrophe. May they find strength and support in these difficult times.
No, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it through here. Go. No, they're not gonna make it, man. Salud, troquita, por ti que te quiero mucho. Ya valió verga, man.
This next footage comes from a parking lot in China. In the video, a scooter is parked amongst several cars when, out of nowhere, it begins to jerk violently before flipping over completely. People nearby noticed this strange occurrence and stopped to watch, clearly shocked by what they were seeing. When you watch closely, there doesn't appear to be any strings or external forces pulling the scooter. Interestingly, an electrical wire hangs above the parking lot, and some viewers pointed out that it seemed to be moving just before the scooter did. Could this movement be connected to the strange events, or is this an unexplainable, possibly paranormal incident? What do you think? This image was taken inside an abandoned hospital in 2013. The hospital had been shut down way back in the 1990s, leaving it empty and derelict for years. A guy went there shooting footage and snapped some still images. At the time, he didn't notice anything unusual until he reviewed the photographs later. The image on your screen was supposed to have been taken in an empty hallway, but as you can see, there's a hazy figure in there. It's humanoid in shape, but something feels off. The figure is entirely whitish, almost as if it's draped in cloth. Parts of the cloth seem to be fraying or peeling away. That particular being or object in the image is blurry, making it difficult to make out the exact details, but what do you think it is? Do you think this is a ghost lingering in the abandoned corridors, or perhaps the spirit of a former patient? Let me hear your thoughts. A homeowner was left stunned when she reviewed the footage from her security camera. It was late at night when a deer strolled across the front yard, but what caught her attention wasn't the deer, It was what followed. Right behind the deer came a small creature running quickly. It moved on two legs, and although the footage is dark, you can make out its shape. Some people think it could be a monkey, while others believe it might be something more unusual, like a gnome. What do you see? A cat owner was filming her pet trying to open a door, a clever trick the feline had perfected by jumping at the handle. Everything seemed normal and even a little adorable, until this happened. The cat managed to move the handle to open the door, but look closely at the glass panel. Do you see it? A pale, ghostly hand appears and pulls the door wide open, allowing the cat to pass through. The eerie part is there is clearly no one on the other side of the door. So what was that? Ever since the devastating LA fires, people have reported spotting strange things in the sky. One such sighting occurred in Santa Monica, and it has left everyone baffled. On a sunny afternoon, a witness shared this video. It was a peculiar figure in the sky. It appeared to have tentacle-like appendages flapping in the air, moving in a way that seemed almost alive. Yes, tentacles again, just like what I showed you earlier. Some speculated it could be a drone with a tentacle-like attachment, but the burning question remains, what would such an odd device be doing near the coast, close to where the fires happened? Also, is this a human creation, or could it be something far more mysterious? Nursing homes, much like hospitals, are places where many elderly people spend their final years. While stories of hauntings are often heard in hospitals, ghostly experiences in nursing homes are less commonly reported. However, this next video might make you rethink that. Captured on a security camera inside one of the rooms, the footage shows an elderly lady lying in bed, surrounded by two empty chairs. But the real mystery lies with the chair beside her. Watch closely as a strange translucent figure seems to float out of the chair, moving away from the woman and disappearing off screen. A few moments later, the figure reappears, this time rising upwards into the ceiling and vanishing completely. Some have argued that this could be the spirit of someone who once stayed in that room. I mean, it's not impossible, but do you guys think there is something more at play here? This footage comes from a man who lives near a town close to the Alps mountains. For days, he'd been hearing strange noises coming from the mountains, and one night he decided to investigate. As he walked up the mountain, he saw something unusual. Beside a lightning rod, he noticed two large shadowy figures. They were towering and tall and seemed to have wings behind them. They had on cloaks and their arms were spread wide open. It was dark, making it difficult to fully make them out, but they didn't seem to be human. Instead, they appeared as dark silhouettes in the shadows. What caught his attention even more were the small specks of light glowing in the palms of their outstretched hands. The man was so shocked by what he saw that he immediately abandoned his investigation and returned home. Some people speculate that these figures might have been angels, while others believe they could be some kind of protectors of the Alps. As interesting as these sound, I guess we'll never really know the truth, unless they go back and get us another clip, of course, which Aaron hopes they do. Carefully. The USA is really going through a lot right now, and no one can say otherwise, from the strange drone incidents to the fires and now these mysterious booms. These booms first started back in 2024 and have not stopped since. I have two clips here that were shared by different witnesses. Take a look and listen. The first one comes from Pennsylvania. woman was out walking with her dog when the sounds began. It sounded like fireworks, but these were much louder and heavier, almost like some sort of explosion. The sound went on for a while. The second clip is from a woman in Orange County, California. She reportedly heard booming sounds in the sky.
So it's coming from over here.
These sounds were initially thought to be natural seismic booms, but now not everyone is buying that explanation. It seems like something else is going on out there. Theories are all over the place, and you've heard us share some. If you got your own theory, please share it in the comments section. Also, if you've experienced this, please share that experience in the comments section too, as we will be reading.
Trying to figure out, right? These are human footprints. What is this? I'm a little scared, but what is that? Let me zoom in some. Those are not footprints.
Moving on to aliens, let's take a look at this strange incident from Georgia. On the morning of January the 11th, 2025, a woman woke up to find these peculiar tracks in the snow outside her home. These tracks are anything but human. They're long and narrow. What made it even more unsettling was the fact that there were no signs of human activity nearby. No footprints, tire marks, or anything else that could explain their origin. So she checked her security footage, but oddly her cameras had gone offline and didn't capture anything until after the tracks appeared. That detail sends chills down her spine. She believes this could be alien-related, but not everyone agrees. Some say it could simply be deer tracks. The original poster doesn't think so. And taking a second look, I'm tempted to share her skepticism, especially when you consider the fact that her cameras went off when this alleged being passed by. That could have easily been an EMP, but, well, hey, what the hell do I know?
I'm a little scared, but what is that? Let me zoom in some. Those are not footprints.
A man took a picture of his kitchen one night, but when he took a second look, he was completely freaked out. This is the picture he saw. At the doorway stood a very tall and slender figure with what looked like a pale face, long black hair, and a beard. It scared him so much that he set up cameras all over the house. The next time he reviewed the footage, he captured this chilling video. In the darkness, there was a figure moving back and forth in the room. Let's enhance the video to get a better look, and there it is. It looks exactly like the figure in the picture. So the lingering question becomes, what exactly are we looking at? A ghost or an otherworldly being? Because you and I have to agree that this does not seem human at all. Yeah? Right as we stepped into 2025, a shocking incident took place in Las Vegas. A man drove a Tesla Cybertruck in front of the Trump Hotel and detonated with himself inside. Tragically, he lost his life and 7 bystanders were severely injured. While investigators combed through the aftermath, they discovered several gas canisters, mortars, and fireworks inside the vehicle. However, what they found next made the story even more bizarre. The driver, identified as former U.S. Army Special Forces soldier Matthew Allen Levelsberger, had allegedly already shot himself before the explosion. As strange as that was, it was not the strangest thing about the case. Authorities allegedly uncovered an email Matthew had sent before his death, and the contents were bold, unsettling, and strangely relevant to today's world. In the email, Matthew claimed that the U.S. possesses high-tech drones that utilize gravity for flight, a technology so advanced that it's virtually undetectable. According to him, China has similar drones and that's been secretly sending them through the Atlantic Ocean to spy on the US. He even warned that China could launch an attack at any moment. Now, while such claims sound like typical conspiracy theories, what makes this intriguing is the timing. Not long after Matthew's story broke, the devastating fires in Los Angeles erupted, capturing everyone's attention. And just like that, the conversation around Matthew's email and his tragic actions seemed to vanish from public discourse. So, what's going on here? Could these events be connected, or is it all just a coincidence? It's hard not to wonder if we're being distracted from something much bigger. What do you think?
This is cool. Not so sure it's safe.
On January the 11th, 2025, multiple witnesses in Indiana, Wales reportedly seeing an unusual beam of light in the night sky. This striking beam appeared to connect the ground directly to the sky. Interestingly, the origin of the beam remains unclear. It's uncertain whether the light source was descending from the sky or emanating upwards from the earth. As you can see, it keeps changing color. Some locals speculate that the source could be a hotel in the vicinity, although this theory has yet to be substantiated. I mean, I know most hotels have lots of lights, but I'm not sure a hotel could have lights so powerful they hit the sky and look like a beam. I mean, it will be suspicious if they did that, but if this isn't from the hotel, then where is it from and why was it there?
That's a heck of a laser.
A young woman was hosting a live session on TikTok while doing her makeup and engaging with her audience. However, an unusual event occurred just behind her. As she was busy interacting with her viewers, the door to her room suddenly creaked open and another girl walked in unannounced. The viewers who were attentively watching the stream immediately noticed the unexpected visitor and began to flood the chat with messages drawing her attention to the disturbance. So she decided to step away from the camera briefly to investigate what was happening. As she left the frame, the live stream footage unexpectedly froze. When she returned, she'd found nothing amiss and she reassured her viewers that everything was fine. However, she was shaken by the incident. Some in the chat speculated that the strange occurrences might be linked to paranormal activity, as there are claims that such encounters often disrupt technology. But no one knows for sure what really happened that day. Next, we got this photo taken from a school in Argentina, actually taken in the school's church. It's a bit dark, but when you brighten it up a little, the details come out better. So, you're definitely wondering where the ghost or cryptid is, right? Well, I gotcha. All the individuals in the photo were supposed to be teenagers, but when you zoom in, you see a little girl in a white dress in the photo walking amongst them. According to the uploader, there was no little girl there that day, which freaked the person out, leading to the upload. Some members think it's a spirit following one of the students, whereas others think it's the ghost of someone who might have died there young. Not sure what to make of this one, but perhaps you guys will, so I'm all eyes and ears, and I will be reading the comments.
Hi. Can I help you? Do you come in peace and do not mean harm to me?
A woman was home alone in her living room when she noticed something odd. Her door had slightly opened. At first, she thought it was her dog, but then she saw her pet lying calmly on the floor. Curious, she looked closer at the door, and that's when she noticed it. There was a dark shadow peering through the slightly opened door with glowing eyes staring back at her. Now, anyone would understandably freak out, but what this woman did next is beyond surprising. She started communicating with this shadowy figure and even invited it into her home. That's right. Without knowing what it was, she welcomed it in. Wild, isn't it? But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Have you noticed an increase in these reports of strange shadowy figures appearing in homes? Could there be something larger going on here?
You are welcome if you mean no harm to me or my dog, or anybody in this home. I come in peace, unarmed, with love.
2025 just kicked off, and I've already stumbled upon one of the craziest stories of the year. What you're looking at is footage of a man lying in a morgue. He's covered in a white cloth, and the morgue was closed at the time. Then, out of nowhere, the man pulls the cloth off, sits upright, looks around, and starts freaking out. Wild, right? Reports say he screamed for help until security guards arrived to let him out. But how did he end up in the morgue in the first place? Now, this is where it gets odd. Apparently, this man had been at a party in Russia drinking heavily. He passed out. When emergency services arrived, they mistakenly pronounced him dead. That's how he ended up in the morgue. But surprise, surprise, he wasn't dead after all. Here's the funniest part. After being let out of the morgue, he went straight back to the party. By then, it had turned into a morning gathering to mourn his death. Imagine everyone's faces when he walked in alive and well. This story is absolutely insane. Next, let's dive into one of the creepiest Hollywood conspiracy theories out there: celebrity cloning. Hollywood might be a hub for glamour, but it's also rumored to be one of the darkest industries in the world, with a lot of weird stuff going on behind the scenes. Over the years, there's been a growing buzz about celebrities with similarities so striking they almost seem unnatural. Take this example: Lady Gaga and Amy Winehouse. These two singers were good friends before Amy tragically passed away, but fans have pointed out something bizarre, an almost eerie resemblance between the two. Some conspiracy theorists even suggest Amy didn't die but somehow came back as Gaga. But the problem is, both women were very much in the public eye at the time before Amy's passing, making this theory hard to believe. Still, considering how strange Hollywood can be, who knows? And it's not just them. There are countless cases of celebrities who look really eerie, down to their facial structures and mannerisms. Could this be a wild coincidence, or is there something more sinister at play here? One night, a man was woken up by strange noises coming from the woods behind his house, so he grabbed his camera and a flashlight and headed out to investigate. What he captured on video is downright chilling. In the footage, you can see a creature with its head pressed down to the ground. Suddenly, it whips its head around to face the camera, and the man does not stick around. He bolts out of there as fast as he can. Now, this creature is anything but ordinary. It appears hairless, it's crouched low to the ground, and while its shoulders have a vaguely human-like shape, the overall appearance is disturbingly skinny and unnatural. Could this be a golem-like creature, or is it something even more bizarre lurking in the woods? Some members of the community lean towards a cryptid kind of creature, whereas a small sect, and by small, I mean small sect, believe this is nothing more than just a hairless cat.
Would you agree with him, my preciouses?
And this one. And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. Huh? I think it's time to go.
A man was out in the woods collecting mushrooms. I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. A man was out in the woods collecting mushrooms, enjoying the peaceful surroundings as he filmed his adventure, but then out of nowhere, something began to scream, and it wasn't the sound of any animal he recognized. It was loud, unsettling, and almost human-like. The eerie scream freaked him out so much that he abandoned his search and left the area immediately. Whatever it was, it didn't sound like a typical woodland creature. Could this have been Bigfoot, or perhaps some other kind of mysterious entity? The way the scream sounded so human is what made this encounter even more spine-chilling. Before you scream fake, this clip comes from a channel known as Tomorrow's Garden, which usually posts reviews of plants and other mushrooms. I doubt they'd be putting the integrity of their channel on the line for a stunt like this, so this has definitely got to be real. The big question is, what exactly was that?
Looks like it's holding some water. Huh?
Let's take a look at another eerie encounter. This one involves strange sounds recorded in an abandoned mine shaft in California. A man decided to explore the mine, camera in hand, when he started hearing these unsettling noises. Take a listen.
Sounds like, what, is that wind? Well, I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound like wind, but that's crazy.
The sounds were like hissing whispers echoing through the dark, empty tunnels. He swore he was completely alone. Understandably spooked, he quickly left the mine and shared the footage online. The video gained a lot of attention, leaving viewers creeped out until some internet sleuths did a little bit of digging. It turns out the creepy noises were fake. They were identified as audio stock, and after being called out, the man admitted it was a hoax. Not everything we see or hear online can be trusted, and that makes this job hard, but nonetheless, we'll continue to do our best to report the most authentic of these clips, and whenever we feel there's something off about them, we will tell you. If we miss them, you can tell us. On second thought, you guys already do a great job at that, so thank you very much. It means a lot.
Well, I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound like wind, but that's crazy.
This one's for all you beauty enthusiasts out there. Did you know that cow dung is now being touted as the next big thing in hair care? Yeah, you heard that right, cow dung. It's apparently being used as a treatment to nourish hair, and while the idea might sound and look disgusting, it's gaining popularity in some circles. People are slathering their hair with it, claiming it works wonders for their locks. It reminds me of a hair treatment I once saw called henna, but the post I saw insists it's not henna but cow dung. Honestly, it's pretty hard to watch, but it might not be long before we see a shiny bottle of cow dung hair mask sitting on store shelves next to our favorite shampoos and conditioners. If we've learned anything from the past, not too long, but say it makes it to our shelves, would you give it a try? Personally, I'd just sit under a cow. It's a lot cheaper. This next capture may not be capturing an escaped inmate, but it does capture something surreal. Take a look. What do you think we're looking at here? Some kind of ape-like creature? I mean, I know we can only see a part of the creature because the image was captured around the time it was passing behind a tree. Despite this, however, we can still see one of its legs sticking out, and it appears to have an almost human-like stride. Now, when it comes to identifying this enigmatic creature, the possibilities are as diverse as the wildlife itself. At a point, some members of the team assumed it could be a mischievous monkey or even a curious bear. Looking at it, however, the creature appears to have a human-like gait. A subscriber sent this in seeking answers. While these attempt to answer it based on available evidence, I believe there's more. Could this perhaps be that iconic denizen of the wilderness, the elusive Bigfoot? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Next is a video clip of a couple who are on a mission to uncover the paranormal. In this particular footage, they're on a bridge in the late hours of the night. Armed with a recorder and a flashlight, this couple discover an oddity on the bridge, a white rope dangling into the depths. The person with the light and recorder moves closer, shining the light in the direction of the dangling rope. Out of curiosity, they begin to pull it up, and to their astonishment, a head is attached to the other end. As they reel in the rope, they discover a head with red liquid writing that reads, "Do you see me?" The eerie discovery should have terrified anyone out exploring in the dead of night. Surprisingly, the couple appears unfazed by this chilling experience. Now, are you thinking what I'm thinking? If you are, then you're probably wondering if they could be in mortal danger. I'm concerned, but my team believes it's a hoax. They think the couple prearranged this by attaching a male mannequin's head with a white robe for content. Which do you think it is? Next, we have another intriguing natural mystery, but this time it's playing out on the surface of a water body. In this puzzling phenomena, you can witness what appears to be a peculiar white swirling pattern gliding across the water. It's an unusual sight, to say the least, and it's left everyone scratching their heads. Scientists, true to their analytical nature, are leaning toward a possible explanation involving an underwater tornado. It's a fascinating hypothesis, considering the power and dynamics of water, and it would be a remarkable natural event. But then there's the other side of the coin. Paranormal enthusiasts are throwing a different theory into the mix, suggesting this could be a sign of supernatural intervention. Their beliefs point toward the unknown, the mystical, and the unexplainable. So where do you stand on this mysterious occurrence? Is it the result of an underwater tornado or a supernatural incident we are yet to fully understand? This next clip is certainly one for the books. A couple in California had a rather unusual ghostly encounter in their home. They set up a monitor in their baby's room to keep an eye on their little one, but as they watched the baby on a separate camera in the living room, something utterly bizarre unfolded. Out of the blue, a ghostly hand makes its appearance, waving at the camera before disappearing as mysteriously as it arrived. Now, you'd think this kind of experience would send most folks running for the hills, but not this couple. They remain surprisingly unfazed by the encounter. Why, you ask? Well, it turns out they firmly believe that their home is haunted, and this isn't the first strange occurrence they've encountered. Instead of running, they're looking forward to an exorcism. What do you think? Imagine driving through the night when you come across a strange woman in white standing in the middle of the street. Now stop imagining and watch the footage. That happened to this family as they were driving in the night. The terrified people didn't even bother to check on the woman because they didn't know if it was a paranormal encounter or just a weird woman. If it was you in this situation, what would you have done? Tell us in the comments section. This next footage from the woods holds more intrigue than meets the eye. While the camera explores every nook and cranny, it captures a creature lurking behind a distant tree. Seemingly on the prowl for dinner, the camera unveils an ape-like creature, its beard a striking feature in the moonlight. Possibly standing at around 7 feet tall, sporting a robust torso, glowing eyes, and black fur, it quickly ducks and swiftly takes cover behind the nearest tree upon realizing it's been discovered. Perhaps it's thinking, why are these creatures after me? Or perhaps something more sinister like, let's lure him in. Either way, the one filming doesn't pursue. Instead, he's left wondering, what was that? Do you have an answer? Tell us in the comments section. This encounter certainly sounds like something straight out of a cryptozoology or paranormal thriller.
Okay, so it's something, a dog or what?
A group of people standing by the lake spot a creature on the opposite shore. At first glance, everyone agrees that it resembles a dog, which is peculiar in itself.
¡Oh, la verga!
However, the shocker comes when, after a few moments, the creature does something wholly unexpected. It stands up on its hind legs. This sudden transformation from a four-legged animal to a bipedal figure is enough to leave anyone dumbfounded. But as with all cryptid sightings, there's room for skepticism and further investigation. Was this truly a face-to-face encounter with the elusive dogman, or could there be a more rational explanation for this perplexing event? Tell us what you think in the comments section. We have reviewed a lot of Bigfoot footage in our day, but never have we seen one so odd and bizarre looking. What's more, it appears to have eyes glowing in the dark. Naturally, this footage had a mixed reception. Some claimed it was definitely real, as its facial movements were very realistic. Some also claimed that it didn't look like a normal Bigfoot. I expected the division to end on the platforms, but it continued to our office. My team members are actually divided on what this could be. So, could you share your thoughts? Do you think this is really a Bigfoot? If it's not, then what do you think it is? Imagine you set up a trail cam in the woods to capture, say, deer, cougars, or whatever it is you're into. You review the captures from the trail cam only to see it only had pictures of a creature that looked like this. Tell me you see it, a weird-looking humanoid in what appears to be a suit. If this were near the city or a town, you could say perhaps someone wandered into the woods. But what if we told you this was captured deep in the woods where no humans lived? Do I have your attention now? This is one bit of footage that sends shivers down the spine. While we often tell ourselves curiosity kills the cat and live in the moment, understanding this footage is something we must do. The figure in the footage dons a long-sleeved shirt with buttons, although the original color remains unknown. I mean, we could speculate, but it won't be accurate. The shirt is opened all the way down. What's truly unsettling is the appearance of its hand. Though it appears blurry, it seems to be holding onto the rock. Either that or the hand is deformed, and what's more, it's got blood stains over its fingers. To the explorers on this channel, does this make you think twice about venturing into the unknown? But you have to wonder, what exactly are we dealing with? With many possibilities popping up in my head, I can only pass the baton down to you. What do you think this is? If you thought that was odd, then the next footage will certainly rustle some feathers. Ever since the It and Joker characters made it through mainstream media, people have become very wary of clowns, and this footage is one of many that will send a shiver down your spine. According to the uploader, a security camera set on private property captured the bizarre situation. In the middle of the night, a strange person in a clown mask and a hoodie is seen walking straight to the camera holding a syringe. The motives of this person remain a mystery, and his identity as well, making this whole situation very disturbing. I would like to console myself by thinking that this is just some kind of Halloween prank, but it's not. Take a look at the syringe in his hands also. If there's anything to take away from this video, it's that this homeowner should be very careful. Here we have another drama in the sky that left people questioning things. If you pay attention to the footage on your screen right now, you'll see a huge patch of cloud shaped like a square. The edges of the patch are so sharp and defined that it's as if someone took out a cosmic ruler and drew a square right there in the atmosphere. No gentle curves or fluffy edges here, just a stark angular interruption in the usual canvas of the sky. As fascinating as this might seem, especially for our meteorology nerds, we have to ask, who's responsible for this? Is it a natural phenomenon, or are humans at it again? Share your thoughts in the comment section. While there have been several footage of paranormal creatures, most of the time people rule them out as hoaxes. For our next footage, however, we have one that was taken by a Facebook user doing a live session. Take a look. The user was having a smoke outside at night while interacting with his audience. He had the camera pointed at the field. You can see the green grass and a streetlight, nothing out of the ordinary. Not long after that, however, something zooms by in the darkness. The creature was pale and transparent. It had long legs and its upper body looked bent downwards. I don't know what type of creature that was, but it was pretty fast. Those following the live session saw it and were puzzled. This is when the guy revealed that he'd been seeing strange things around his home. I want to believe it because the footage is live et al., but doesn't it sound a bit too convenient? Next, we have a Trailcam footage that's aiming for the spot of the most chaotic footage I have ever come across. Take a look. In the footage, we have a herd of innocent-looking deer frozen in their tracks, their wide eyes locked onto a sly and cunning fox up ahead. But wait, the fox seems to be engaged in its stare-off with something else, something colossal and humanoid sauntering across the path and into the woods. Did you catch it? This enigmatic creature, towering like a behemoth, defies easy classification. It's certainly not your run-of-the-mill forest inhabitant. Bears? Well, they're not typically known for their bipedal strolls, so what's left in the realms of legendary woodland mysteries? None other than the elusive and legendary Bigfoot. Or do you not see it? On November the 22nd at precisely 11:36 a.m., we captured a rare sight that might make you wonder if it's someone practicing voodoo. That's definitely not normal, right? If you know anything about horror movies, you know this particular scene is nothing more than a horrid sight. I mean, how else do you describe a scene of hundreds, if not thousands, of blackbirds on your farm? Could something ominous have happened while the owner of the land was away? Has the owner performed some evil rites that necessitate the visits of these birds, or am I just reading meanings into things that don't exist? Personally, I don't think so. I think there's more to this than meets the eye. Don't you? Have you ever seen a lizard go on a sprint? Not on all fours, but just on two legs. If you haven't, today's your lucky day. Someone spotted this lizard on a tree and decided to take a video, but to his surprise, the reptile decided to climb down the tree and give him a better show. It then started to walk and then run on its hind legs. As shocking as this looks, it's not uncommon in lizards. There are about 50 lizard species that can pull off this stunt, but the lizard species that does this better is the basilisk lizard. They have special scales on their feet that allow them to even walk on water. Because of that, they're nicknamed the Jesus Christ lizard. A cheesy name, don't you think? Next, we have a piece of the puzzle we may never solve. During a sunny day at the beach, some people stumbled upon a wonder that left their minds blown. In a cave by the beach, they found a car stuck in the opening at the top of the cave. The car was tightly stuck in there, which made the whole thing mysterious. I mean, how did it get there? There were no indications of a person or the remains of a person in the car, and the hood of the car was missing. Some experts were brought on board who managed to get the vehicle out, but that doesn't take the mystery away. What is the story behind the car stuck in a beach cave? Oh dear, it seems we've stumbled upon a rather peculiar situation in the world of trail cams. We have two crocs, or perhaps alligators, swimming near a trail cam. Now, you must be wondering why I'm laughing, but, well, it's actually simple. I'm kind of expected to be corrected and given a lesson on the differences between a croc and an alligator. This community never lets my mistakes slide, and I love you guys for it. It's motivated me to do a little more research before putting these videos out there. Either way, back to the video. It appears that our reptilian friends have decided to make the camera their guardian and protector of their territory. Now, I must say, I'm not quite sure how the brave soul who set up this camera is planning to retrieve it. It might involve a bit of negotiation with our cold-blooded comrades, or perhaps a carefully devised strategy to outsmart them. In any case, it's a reminder that nature often has its plans, a true testament to the unpredictability and wonder of the great outdoors. Despite the dangers of recovery, you must agree that this is one fine bit of footage. God bless whoever captured it. Stepping away from all things mysterious and scary, let's take a look at this beautiful capture a subscriber sent in. Can you recognize the creature? If you said cougar, you'd be right. The cougar, considered a charismatic feline prowler of the wild, combines stealth with grace in its solitary adventures. With a coat as sleek as midnight and eyes that gleam with secrets, it's the phantom of the forest, embodying both mystery and playful curiosity in its every saunter. Images of cougars from trail cams are always fire, and this one is a gem. As majestic and beautiful as these animals are, if you ever run into one, make sure to keep a distance. They may look cute, but they are still apex predators. If you've made it this far and haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do that before you go on? Thank you very much. It means a lot. Coming back to the episode. The frilled dragon. Sounds dangerous, sounds scary, but what is it? Yup, that's it. As dangerous as it sounds, it's nothing more than a captivating reptile that truly seems like it stepped right out of a Disney movie. With its striking appearance and unique frill, it's no wonder these creatures can captivate the imagination. Frilled neck lizards, native to the northern regions of Australia and New Guinea, are known for their distinctive frills, which they use to intimidate predators or assert their dominance. When threatened, they open up their frills and create a spectacular display that's both breathtaking and somewhat magical. With their charming, almost mythical appearance, it's not hard to see why they might remind you of something straight out of a Disney animated feature. The world of social media is no stranger to the eerie and unsettling, and this TikTok user's video is a prime example. In this hair-raising footage, the user returns home after running an errand only to be confronted by a nightmarish sight. Inside his own house, a devilish-looking figure with glowing eyes is peering out from behind a glass window. The figure stares at him, unblinking and otherworldly, before eventually turning its back and vanishing into the darkness of the house. What's particularly chilling about this account is that the TikTok user claims to live alone, seemingly ruling out the possibility of a prank or someone else being responsible for the eerie apparition. Not to sound over the top, but I think this guy needs holy water in his home. Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Well, it seems even Mother Nature can have a sense of humor. In this rather amusing trail cam capture, we have a deer that appears to be sporting the latest winter fashion trend, the iced face mask. Looks like this deer was having a drink of water when it splashed all over its face. Given the frigid weather conditions, it doesn't take long for that water to turn into a frosty facial accessory. The result? A deer that looks like it's fresh from a spa day with an ice face mask that would make even the most glamorous Hollywood celebrity envious. Nature's little moments like these serve as a reminder that even in the wild there's room for a touch of whimsy. This was at least my logical explanation of the whole thing. My colleagues in the paranormal community, however, disagree and state that the creature is definitely possessed. Knowing myself, I know for a fact that I don't have a lot of experience with wildlife, so thought it might be best to ask you what you thought of the whole thing. Do you think my logical explanation is logical enough, or are we truly dealing with a paranormal situation here? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Our next footage features a desolate slump with its waterlogged terrain and oddly shaped leafless trees. I don't know if you feel it too, but there's an eerie feeling emanating from the place that suggests it's not one that's often visited. I'm not sure if the one filming is on a quest to capture otherworldly creatures, but he doesn't hesitate to film when he spots a figure in the woods ahead. The creature doesn't even notice him until a few seconds after he had started causing it to react abruptly, and it tries to hide. This mysterious figure bears a striking resemblance to a black and furry Sasquatch. It seems to be in a secluded corner of the woods going about its day, possibly relishing the screams of an unseen creature in the video. Some members of the paranormal community are convinced it's a Sasquatch. Others think it might be a skunk ape. What do you think? Still on strange and mythical creatures, take a look at this image. Looks unreal, doesn't it? But apparently it's not. The image was apparently captured in Romania by some individuals moving through the forest. It was supposed to be a day like any other until they ran into this two-headed creature. Fortunately for them, it was either lifeless or very injured, so they quickly sent for the priest, thinking it might be a Dracul or Diavolvo. Once the priest arrived, he asked them to go home, and guess what? The creature was never seen again. Bizarre, right? But what if it's not? What if there are demons in Romania and the priests are very aware? Sounds like Castlevania, does it not? As you know, we have always started with the most recent footage we have always found of our favorite big guy. But today, he takes second spot. Do you see that? That's one massive Sasquatch, if I do say so myself. Now, for some odd reason, the Trailcam that recorded the whole thing caught the Bigfoot running, and even jumping. I'm not sure we have seen Bigfoot do a combination of these things since we started posting as a channel. What do you think? Does it look legit, or is someone playing with our feelings? Share your thoughts about the whole thing. Here's a heartwarming scene that proves even the mightiest of creatures can have a soft side. Movies make rhinos out to be imposing and often have an aggressive demeanor. While that may be true, sometimes it only happens when they are provoked. In most cases, they're quietly minding their own business, and a particular rhino seems to be the mellowest of them all. As it goes about its evening duties, munching a thing or two here and there, a tiny companion takes advantage of the opportunity and perches itself comfortably on the rhino's back. Now, there could be a couple of explanations for this unlikely friendship. You might be thinking that the rhino is simply too focused on its meal to notice the daring hitchhiker, or perhaps it's having an exceptionally good day and decided to share some warmth and company. But this happens more often than not. Have you heard of symbiotic or commensal relationships? Sometimes smaller animals like domestic cats may climb on or sit near rhinos or other large animals in captivity or wildlife reserves. This behavior is not driven by the rhino's consent, but rather the result of the cat's natural curiosity or seeking warmth or shelter. It's essential to remember that these interactions can be risky for the smaller animals if the larger animal becomes agitated or defensive, and that's why you must always avoid encroaching on the personal space of these wild beasts. Our next footage takes us to a garage. Who knew that the garage could become the place of nightmares? Wondering what I'm talking about? Well, watch this footage. Armed with a flashlight and a camera, an unknown individual ventures into a cluttered garage. Inside the garage, there is an established wooden structure for storing materials and equipment. It's unknown if he knew something weird was there, but judging by his movement, he might have. As he points his light at one of the wooden cabinets, a creature's head pops up. I was tempted to think it might be a monkey of sorts, but taking a second look, I doubt that's what we have here. And if it was a monkey, I doubt the one filming would have moved away as fast as he did. So what exactly could this be? You tell me. Have you ever wondered if ghosts are good entities or not? Before you answer, watch this footage. This lady was busily doing her dishes when all of a sudden, the cupboards in the room flung open and even the bowl she was using slid across the sink. Everything happened so fast that from her reaction, you could tell she was shocked and barely had time to react. The encounter didn't cause her any harm, but there are some situations where people do get hurt severely. Yes, there are stories of some having bad experiences during their moments on Earth, hence becoming violent when they're ghosts. These types of ghosts are called poltergeists. They're known to manifest their ghostly tantrums into physical ones. That is when you see things being flown about, hear strange noises, and popular of all, a fireplace lighting on its own. Do you think this is one of them, or am I simply looking for a story where there isn't one? Next, we have a creature that was captured on a trail cam situated in the woods. In the footage, we see the creature was spotted peeking from behind a tree. It possesses light fur and a pair of dark, small eyes. Its nose looks like that of a human, but it's smaller. And when you look at its mouth, you can see how tiny its lips are. The owner of the footage believes that this is a Sasquatch with a much smaller build, just like. Perhaps it could be a juvenile or a dwarf among the Bigfoots. After all, we humans come in all shapes and sizes too. The paranormal community is divided on this, with some calling it the best Sasquatch footage in a long time, and others stating that it's obvious that it's just a hoax. While I like to be sure of what I'm dealing with, who am I to get in the way of a good old squabble? What do you think, real or not? Trail cameras, the ever-watchful eyes of the wilderness, capturing moments both sublime and bizarre. But this next footage takes the cake in terms of unexpected revelations. Imagine being the owner of a trail cam, eagerly retrieving it one day, only to discover something you never anticipated. In the cold, unforgiving darkness of the night, the camera reveals a scene that seems almost too surreal to be true. An inmate, in a desperate bid for freedom, is caught in the act of trying to escape from incarceration. A subscriber of the channel sent it in, and he stated that they didn't understand what they were looking at until the individual was arrested later. If this is proof of anything, it's that the unexpected can happen even in the most unlikely places. Trail cams, once reserved for documenting the secrets of the natural world, have now started recording inmates escaping from jail. Who knows what else we may start capturing on these cams? A big shout out to the subscriber who sent this in. We can't wait to have the rest of you starting to send in footage. I can't imagine what y'all are also capturing on your trail and security cams. Looking at this capture, do you see anything peculiar? You don't? We'll take a closer look. You should see it. If you focus on the animal feeding to your right, you might miss those eyes in the middle. If you're familiar with trail cam footage, then you know that captures from the night usually have the eyes of the animals reflecting. Looking at those two white dots in the middle, I'm pretty sure they are eyes, but what animal do you know that has eyes that far apart? None that I'm aware of. Could it be a cryptid? Could it be an unknown and undiscovered species, or do I have it completely wrong and it's a ghost? Am I simply seeing things that are non-existent? These and many more questions plague my mind. What about you? Do you have an answer to this enigma? Please do share in the comment section. Ever heard of CERN? It's one of the world's biggest research centers and is known to be very credible. They built the world's largest particle accelerator, which has sparked quite a few negative rumors. Some say the machine is to open a portal to hell. Some say it is the cause of the Mandela effect, and so on. But one particular footage that set the internet ablaze was this footage that was secretly taken by a YouTuber. In the footage, we can see a group of dark-robed people in a circle right in front of the Shiva statue. Shiva is said to be the god of destruction. So what are the odds? As the robed people gather, one person took off the robe and it was a woman. She lies on the ground and another robed person stands over her with a shiny object in hand. He bends over and proceeds to stab her with it. The videographer gets scared and runs away. The footage was later posted on the internet and everyone was talking. However, CERN said it was just a prank by the researchers at the facility, but there was a word that the YouTuber who took the footage died. What do you think of this situation? Is CERN indeed hiding something from the public, or is this just propaganda against the organization? We've all had our fair share of strange encounters, but nothing freaks me out more than seeing human beings being strange. Take a look at this footage that was taken on a train. In the footage, we see a woman attempting to apply lipstick with what might be a mirror in her hand. But when you look carefully, there is no mirror there. Yet somehow she's paying attention to her hands as though she's holding one. What kind of sorcery is this? Is it a glitch of some sort? If not, could she be a mime? Even then, it may not make sense. Am I overthinking it, or do we have something going on here? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Now, in our previous bonus footage, we took the mystery for our bonus footage up a notch, and we want to maintain it. Can you identify the creature in that Trailcam capture? If you can, head over to the comments section and tell us. The first accurate comment could win a feature in one of our upcoming videos. Trust me when I tell you, this is an opportunity you don't want to miss. Start your comment with bonus footage so we easily see it. All the best. Next, we have a Trailcam capture that's gonna have even the most experienced zoologists scratching their heads. Have a look. What do you see in the image? A gorilla? Well, hold on, take a closer look. It does appear to have the bulk bodies typically associated with our large primates, but a closer look and you'd realize it's not a gorilla. It's actually something more. While it might look like a gorilla casually moving in the woods, you sit back, take a critical look, and realize that it might actually be a larger creature crouching on the ground. Which creature do we know that's large enough to look like a gorilla when it crouches? A Bigfoot. The next thing is the footage authentic? That will let you decide. Well, I guess that depends on what your definition of cool is. Either way, take a look. Instead of telling you what's happening here, I thought I'd let our wildlife experts educate us. The last time I explained what was happening in footage like this, the audience proved to know much more than I did. I'm wondering if it will be the same today, so tell us what you think is happening in this footage and start with the word final. I'd go through and point out the best comment and feature it in our next episode. Let's delve into another mysterious sighting, this time caught on a trail camera deep within the woods. The image reveals a peculiar figure, and it's enough to give anyone the creeps. This tall, shirtless being sporting what appears to be black pants has some distinctive features. First and foremost, it's the extraordinary length of their legs that immediately grabs your attention. They're incredibly long, and the figure gives off an uncanny resemblance to the infamous Slender Man. The Slender Man, known for its eerie, elongated appearance, has been the stuff of nightmares in internet lore for quite some time. Whether this figure is a genuine sighting or simply a trick of light, we'll never know. On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you. So please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Next, we have rather scary footage. One thing I think it'd be best before you saw or rather heard yourself. Don't worry, you'll understand soon. Did you hear it? It's not a growl, not a howl, not a roar, but something in between, something primal. The sheer weight and depth of the sound hint at the presence of something large. It also sounds like something that commands attention and respect. The owner of the bone-chilling footage is convinced that what they've captured is none other than the legendary Bigfoot, the elusive giant of the woods. The footage was taken by a hiker deep in the heart of the woods, embarking on an adventure that would soon turn hair-raising. As he traverses the wilderness, the tranquility is shattered by the eerie cry that pierces through the natural symphony of the forest. In the world of cryptids and unexplained mysteries, every sound and every rustle in the underbrush holds the potential for discovery. Could this haunting cry indeed belong to the enigmatic Bigfoot? It's a question that stirs the imagination and leaves us pondering what other secrets are hidden within the vast expanse of the forest. Now, let's take a look at this video clip where an unexpected creature boldly ventures into unfamiliar territory. With the voices heard in this video, we can say this animal is in human terrain. What is this animal, you might ask? This creature, seen navigating a disheveled working area, resembles a furless ferret. It's like an aging adult ferret, a tamed species belonging to the Mustelidae family. Like other mustelids, they have long and slender physiques. Take a closer look at it, though. I feel that this creature is much larger than your typical ferret. What do you think? A group of campers in the great outdoors stumbled upon a spine-tingling surprise. The creature they encountered was unlike anything they could have expected. It was there, looking around their campsite, moving on all fours, exuding an eerie presence. As soon as the campers saw this unsettling figure, they wasted no time and made a run for it. But sometimes reality can be just as terrifying as a movie plot. The camper holding the camera in a desperate scramble to escape tripped and fell. When he glanced back, the creature was right there. The whole scene could easily be mistaken for a chilling moment from a suspenseful film, but for these campers, it was an experience they will never forget. Picture this mesmerizing scene, a smoky figure, ethereal and mysterious, spotted floating gracefully on a serene lake. As if that wasn't captivating enough, the creature starts to drift across the water, slowly vanishing only to be replaced by yet another smoky figure following suit. It's a sight that can leave you in awe and wonder or send shivers down your spine. It depends on the kind of person you are, really. As with many extraordinary sightings, there are always skeptics ready with their explanations. Some suggest that this isn't a supernatural event, but rather a machine or device cleverly designed to produce these smoke-like figures, adding a touch of wonder to an otherwise ordinary lake. In various religious traditions, angels are considered to be spiritual beings created by a higher power, such as God or a supreme deity. They are highly revered and play a significant role in different religions.
Angelic vision at sunset on this night of the papal election. We had more than a few viewers write in saying that they spotted this cloud and they say it resembles an angel.
On a day that was not disclosed but rumored to be the day a pope was named, a peculiar sighting made it to the news. It was a uniquely shaped cloud that was spotted over Palm Beach County. The cloud appeared to be in the form of a giant being with widespread wings resembling an angel. It's worth noting that although some natural phenomena cause people to see clouds shaped like familiar objects, this particular cloud was distinct due to its unusual shape. The interesting thing also is the fact that many saw it as well. Take this comment for instance. It's important to keep in mind that although angels are not considered to be cloud beings, their depiction as winged beings has been a common theme throughout history, making the sighting a fascinating and thought-provoking one.
This was sent in by Rob just a few minutes ago. You can see that cloud angel off in the distance, high in the sky, around sunset.
During the recent total solar eclipse, a family decided to head out to witness the celestial event. However, after the eclipse, they were in for a surprise when they spotted something questionable in the sky.
Whoa, what's that? Whoa! Oh my, I knew it's a left-wing cover-up. This is what they're covering up.
What is that?
Take a picture. Take a picture. TMZ will buy it.
It's a drone?
Drones don't light up like that. That's an alien right there.
Looking toward the horizon, they noticed a glowing red sphere amidst the clouds. The sun was setting at this time, and the clouds were getting darker, but there was a mysterious red glow in the sky that caught their attention. The strange red light persisted for a while before fading into nothingness, but the family was left with several questions. What could this glowing red sphere have been, and where did it come from? Could it have been related to the lunar eclipse or something else entirely? A number of individuals who saw it thought it was a flare. One individual, however, insisted it was a CERN portal that had been exposed by the eclipse. A small section stated that they also experienced it but couldn't explain what it was. I did some digging around and couldn't come up with anything. These sightings have piqued the interest of many, and it's unclear what they signify. What do you think that they could be?
Holy, what the hell is that? It confirmed that the eclipse is a cover-up for alien activity.
Jonathan, look at it.
The deep state is lying to us.
Look at it.
There are times when animals can be weird and look cute, but when their behavior goes on longer, it starts to look strange, just like in this footage. A man was seen walking his dog. At first, I thought it was cute and funny. I mean, it's a dog walking on its two legs. But then as they kept walking, the dog didn't go down on all fours. It kept walking on its legs until it turned a corner out of sight. And with what we just saw, I'm pretty sure it could have probably continued till they got home. I don't know about you, but just looking at this gave me some chills. I've seen dogs pull this stunt before, but not for that long. This dog looked like it was possessed or something. Could that have been the case, or has it evolved to move on all twos? Before you come at me in the comments section, think about it. Stories of giants have captured human imagination throughout history, and various cultures around the world have myths and legends about these colossal beings, and one such is the footprint in South Africa. And we're not talking about a faint impression. This print is clean, clear, and as bold as a historical statement can get. Some archaeologists have been to the site to study it, and they have confirmed that this is indeed a footprint. What do you think though, real or not? I know many of you watching today's episode may have heard of Area 51 and seen it a lot in alien movies and documentaries. But did you know there's an actual US base in Nevada called Area 51? If you didn't know, Area 51 is a highly classified United States Air Force facility located in the southern portion of Nevada, USA. Officially known as Groom Lake, it's situated within the Nevada Test and Training Range and is part of the larger Nellis Air Force Base Complex. The area's exact purpose and activities are classified, which has led to many theories you may have heard concerning aliens. Take a look at this clip, for instance.
No, they're still there. I'm getting it.
There appears to be what looks like a set of lights that just disappear in the clouds. The man recording the clip can be heard saying they are still there. This is because he believed he had seen an alien spaceship, and just before he could stop recording, it started to go invisible until it was barely visible. The only thing he could catch on his camera was the lights in the clip before everything went away. He believes the craft is camouflaged in some way, but still up there. I know clips like this are hard to believe, but this man and his clip wouldn't be the first strange thing to come out of Area 51. It's even surprising that he was able to post this without going missing, because that's something that's been known to happen to whistleblowers. But do share your thoughts with me in the comments section.
No, they're still there. I'm getting it.
Humans have always desired and been fascinated with the supernatural. In many cultures, including ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, and Rome, there were beliefs in the existence of individuals who possessed magical powers both for good and evil. Practices such as necromancy, communication with the dead, and divination, foretelling the future, and curses were often associated with black magic. While times have changed, it looks like the fascination with the supernatural didn't stop there. No, somehow some have allegedly found a way to integrate it into technology.
Able to simply receive a photo of someone's face and treat them of diseases with this?
Yes. Now, to be clear, this is not Newtonian physics. This is a new branch of physics. I work with people around the world by way of an emailed photograph. My photograph has a signature or a force field attached to it. If I were to place my photograph inside this instrument, the instrument would understand my force field and direct energy into my force field. Now, it's not a biological process. It's an energetic process working through the different dimension of scalar energy. It's not electromagnetic energy.
The man on your screen is an example. He actually believes he's able to cure individuals just by using their image. He, however, attributes it to science and throws around words like quantum and physics, which makes it seem like he knows what he's talking about. He also talks about scalar energy and bilocation, which he associates, which according to him are essential for what he does. According to him, his predecessor worked with the Apollo 11 team using just their images. I did some digging around on the Apollo bit and didn't find any information, but just imagine such technology was real. The applications are endless. We could hear people in all sorts of remote places without being there. It'll change the medical industry for good. Unfortunately, not many are buying what the man is selling. They believe he's just misleading people. Take a look at these comments. Despite the negative comments, there are some who believe this is real and defending the post. While my natural mind may be tempted to dispel this, we live in a very mysterious world we have yet to understand. Perhaps this is an actual possibility, but do tell me what you think.
My predecessor was working with the Apollo 11 astronauts. That photograph may have been a few months old, but it still reported the exact biorhythms of the astronauts while they are on the moon, 250,000 miles away.
These days, it's hard to write things off as normal or a coincidence because of the surge in the sightings of UFOs, paranormal creatures, and many more. A surveillance camera at someone's doorstep captured something strange in the sky. There it is, a bright object flying by in the sky. No one knows what it was. Could be the wings of a bird flying by, but let's be honest, this looks nothing like a bird. A resident from the area also attested to seeing this object in the sky while on a walk that night. From the usual answers we have for objects in the sky, could this be a UFO or not? We don't know. There have been many sightings of Bigfoot in the woods, yet the one caught in this next footage of ours seems particularly different. From the footage, we're introduced to what appears to be a crime scene. This creature is seen moving in the background. It's obvious that whatever it is, it may be along the lines of a Bigfoot. A part of me wanted to believe it might be another hoax. That was at least the situation until it lifted a tree like it was nothing. When you pay attention to its facial features, you see the face of a human with a nose, a pair of eyes, lips, and a long beard. As the creature stands, the rest of its body is covered in dark fur, and it stands at a height of 8 feet minimum. The way it effortlessly lifts a huge log and smashes it into a tree is something humans can't do. Since we've ruled out the possibility of it being a human in a costume, there's only one possibility left. It's a Bigfoot. You know what? Before you conclude, take a look at this one too.
I don't know. No, that's not a phone. I will be hiding if that's the size of a shooting.
In our digging, we came across this footage that's also apparently from Nevada, Las Vegas, to be precise. In the clip, we see something move at great speed in the sky. Looking at it, it looks like a spaceship. Before you disregard this video as another hoax, take a look at the other elements in the clip. We got a police car on the left, and the clip seems to have come from a police body cam. This adds a level of authenticity to the whole thing. Many comments on the original post were like this. The individuals that have been blurred out of the clip apparently reported to the police first about strange things happening and an alien possibly being around. In the world I live in, you may have received a warning from the police because that's just ridiculous, but these guys actually listened. This has earned the praise of the online community. Question now on everyone's mind is, what was that? If they are aliens, why are they in Nevada? Are they in bed with the government? Or do we have something they want, something we took from them? Share your thoughts in the comments section. A group of men were on a hiking expedition in a dense forest when they came across. We kick off today's episode with something rather alien. This clip was sent in from Miami a few weeks ago, and naturally, we have been trying to break it down and understand it. In the clip, we see an orange light in the sky, surrounded by lots of clouds. Right off the bat, if you're into UFOs and love things alien, you might suspect this is one. That's one of the easiest ways to explain sights like this. A number of individuals who saw the post stated that they have had similar experiences in other states and places. The user, for instance, stated his or her dad saw something similar around the same time the original post was made. The difference, however, is that they saw theirs in San Antonio. There's no way to verify this, so we'll have to take it with a grain of salt. A number of individuals who saw the post also believed it was real. Take these comments, for instance. While many thought this was really an alien ship sighting, a number of individuals thought otherwise. They believed there had to be a logical explanation for the whole thing. This user, for instance, argued it might be a drone, but that's pretty high, and I'm not sure we have a lot of drones that can get so high and be fitted with strong and powerful lights. A number of individuals also thought it might be a rocket launch. One user, however, pointed out that we might be dealing with a helicopter instead. I can see why and how each of these individuals came to their conclusions. Without more evidence, however, it's difficult to state who is right. What do you guys personally think of the clip? We'd like to hear your thoughts. Now here's a truly bizarre encounter that could make your blood run cold. Imagine you're at home minding your own business when strange noises on your roof prompt you to investigate, but what you find is beyond the realm of ordinary. This alien-looking creature perched on the roof with its pink skin, an oddly small head, and the most peculiar features of all, its extraordinarily long legs. It's a sight straight out of a sci-fi thriller. The situation takes an even more eerie turn when the creature realizes it's been discovered. Without a moment's hesitation, it effortlessly leaps off the roof thanks to its remarkable long legs. The question of what kind of creature this is remains unanswered. Now, we've shared and posted some strange creatures with some strange features of the months, but not many of them disturb me like what I'm about to show you. This creature was captured on a trail cam set up in areas where you would typically expect trail cams to be set up. What the owners of the trail cam didn't count on was capturing something like this. Not only does its body, especially its facial features, look weird, but it also appears to have multiple hands. The owner of the trail cam quickly reviewed captures from other trail cams in the area and found different images of a creature with 3 arms. If you look closely, however, you'll realize that the creatures in the image, although similar, are not the same. Are we looking at an invasion, or is this merely a discovery of a once-hidden species? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. In this next clip, a man explains something rather interesting yet disturbing about the eggs we eat, especially in the US.
Story about chicken eggs that will show you exactly how corrupt the food industry is and how much the chemical industry influences it for profit. When eggs are produced in the United States, there's a sanitizer that's sprayed on them for the purpose of preventing you from getting salmonella poisoning and bacteria entering the egg, eventually spoiling it. Meanwhile, when a natural egg is produced, it has something on the outside called a bloom. This is why when you go to Europe, you see that eggs are actually not refrigerated. They're kept outside, whether in the store or at home. Why? Because the bloom protects the egg from having salmonella or bacteria enter the egg and spoiling it. So the egg already came with a natural defense against the thing that the chemicals are being sprayed on it to protect it against. The chemicals are absolutely unnecessary. Proof of it? Go to Portugal today and buy eggs from a shelf instead of a refrigerator, and your health will be just fine. Seek out pasture-raised organic eggs. You don't need the industrial toxins, and make sure you share this video with everyone you know so they can also do the same thing.
Did you hear that? Eggs have a natural protective layer known as the bloom that prevents the entry of bacteria and other harmful substances. This protective layer eliminates the need for chemical sprays to be applied to eggs. So what could this mean? Are the eggs in the US not natural eggs, hence the need to be given artificial protection, or are they doing all this just for profit? I mean, if the eggs can be preserved longer, they can earn a bit more from exporting to other places. Either way, it doesn't change the fact that these are questionable practices. Eclipses are a natural phenomenon that occurs annually, but in different locations around the world. Despite being a regular occurrence, people never fail to be mesmerized by it. However, many people have reported experiencing strange things during an eclipse. For instance, a woman once noticed some peculiar-looking lights on the ground in her house during an eclipse. She was not alone. Several individuals observed glowing circles in the ground during an eclipse. One of them even commented on the post and stated that they also saw these patterns last year on the 23rd of October during an eclipse. Everyone attributed this to mysterious forces surrounding the eclipse, but there was one particular comment that seemed logical. When I saw this, I also thought the same, that there was perhaps a structure at the location or even spaces between the leaves of a tree that were causing this. While this seems logical, there's no way to actually prove it. There's that slim chance that the poster might be right in their assertion after all. Here we have a spine-tingling video posted on YouTube by a user named Satpam. The footage reveals an utterly hideous creature lurking behind a wired fence, and it's enough to send shivers down your spine. This creature sports a strangely like human appearance, but its skin is marked with eerie black patterns, as though it's been dipped in darkness. Its eyes are glowing with an otherworldly, unsettling light, and its teeth, well, let's just say they're sharp enough to give you nightmares. To make matters even creepier, this enigmatic being was emitting the most indescribable, bone-chilling sounds you can imagine. These sounds would stick with you for days, haunting your dreams. The most baffling part of this whole ordeal? No one, not a single soul, has a clue about what this creature is or where on Earth or beyond it came from. Do you? Bigfoot, the iconic puzzle of the paranormal world. In this particular footage, a hiker had an encounter with a creature lurking among the bushes, which he believes can only be the legendary Bigfoot. Watching the footage, you can see why he thinks that. The creature in question has got a lot of fur and a build that's not common to any human or ape. There's no way it's even a bear. Looking at its posture and speed of movement, however, I'm tempted to think we're dealing with a much older Bigfoot. Either that or someone put in a lot of effort simply to prank us. What do you think? A group of men were on a hiking expedition in a dense forest when they came across an intriguing circular structure. The object had a mirror-like surface that reflected the sunlight, and its edges emitted a faint glow that seemed to pulsate. Upon closer inspection, the men noticed that the structure was perfectly symmetrical and had a diameter of approximately 10 feet. The original poster speculated that the object may be some sort of portal, but there is no verifiable evidence to support this theory. The men who found the structure did not provide much information about its origin or purpose. There were no visible markings or signs of wear and tear that might suggest how long the object had been there. The group of men did not attempt to touch the object or interact with it in any way, perhaps out of fear or uncertainty about its properties. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the discovery of this mysterious structure has sparked much interest and speculation. Some have suggested that it could be a remnant of an ancient civilization, while others believe it to be a natural phenomenon. The truth, however, may never be known, but the enigma of this object continues to captivate the imaginations of those who are interested in the unknown. What are your thoughts on this? But eclipses are not the only strange things. This footage was taken of a person's eyes, and look at that. The eye just switched into what looks like slits, reptilian eyes. Now, there have been numerous accounts and conspiracies of shape-shifting lizard people who live among us. Their giveaway is this: they have inner transparent eyelids that blink sideways apart from the normal human eyelids. And when that happens, for a split second, their eyes change from human to reptilian. Some people who support the shape-shifting reptilian theory think that these creatures are from outer space and have come to Earth to influence and dominate humans. They believe that reptilian beings are from different planets or dimensions and have high-tech abilities to appear as humans or other creatures, letting them blend in among us. Do you believe in the Matrix? If not, then find a logical explanation for this. A man came home to find his dog standing in the hallway as though it were frozen in time. If you have a pet, you know how they like to be all over you when you go out and come back. This dog, on the other hand, was just standing there, not moving or panting or playing or doing anything. As the owner gets closer to the dog, it becomes increasingly evident that the dog is frozen in time. Now, before you say that it's a realistic dog toy, just wait and see what happens next. The man just cautiously walks towards his dog, and as soon as he touches it and rubs its neck, the dog comes back to life. It's one of two things. The owner has taught his dog a very clever trick, or the dog was frozen in time till the owner's touch reset it. What do you think? If you've made it this far, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode, football is a very physical game, so when a player falls, it's usually hard for them to get back on their feet due to the impact. If that's true, tell me why this player pulled a Michael Jackson on us. While he was running to get the ball, he fell, sliding across the grass. But then, within a few seconds, he levitated off the ground, almost as though some unknown force lifted him. The funny thing is, he walked away like nothing happened. You can see the other players looking at him and probably all shocked by what they just witnessed. How is this even possible? Or am I missing something? Before we move on to the next video, just another reminder. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. I wouldn't want to send a Bigfoot after you, but don't forget to share with your friends and family as well. Thank you very much. Here we have another footage of another set of eyes doing the exact same thing. Now, these are just two of numerous clips of individuals captured having these slit eyes. I mean, it could just be editing, but when you look closely, this thing looks too real to be edited. So could the theories be true? Are we witnessing evidence of extraterrestrial beings living amongst us, disguised as humans? Or are these occurrences simply the product of optical illusions or digital manipulation? It's hard to say, and there's no way to prove any of this, but if it's true, then we are in serious trouble, don't you think? In the video clip that follows, we get a glimpse of another sighting of the sky, where a cloud resembling a human figure is seen, albeit without wings this time. The cloud being has its arms spread out as if it were running, and at one point there seems to be movement in its hand. While it could be argued that this is merely a case of pareidolia or moving clouds, there is always the possibility of something more significant going on. As more people gathered around to observe the cloud, something strange happened. The human-like cloud suddenly vanished into thin air as if it were aware of its surroundings and was intentionally disappearing. This raises more questions about what it could have been. Was it an angel, as some people believe, or was it simply a case of pareidolia? Alternatively, it could have been a hologram projection in the sky or some other phenomenon that we have yet to understand. Without more information, it's going to be difficult to say what exactly was going on in the sky that day. But what do you think it was? When it comes to a fight, it's not always about the size of your opponent. Sometimes it boils down to how much self-confidence you have, and our next footage proves that. This man spotted a lizard and attempted to bully it. You can see him trying to get a rope around its neck and get it out of its home or neighborhood, but the little guy was not having any of it. It gathered all its courage it could and stood on its back limbs as it aggressively charged toward the man. Not expecting it, the man is forced into a retreat, which ends with him on the ground. The footage cuts off here, but we're pretty sure that Monsieur Lizard emerged as the victor in this spontaneous confrontation. Nature has its way of teaching us that respect transcends size. Next time you see a lizard or any small animal, just mind your own business and walk by. If you have to confront it because it poses any danger to you or your family, do so with this footage in mind. Sent in by a camper who went out there to take some photos, and what he encountered left him shocked. It It was a normal morning, and he was preparing to get out of his tent when through the tent window he spotted something strange. There was a huge creature that was trying to look into his tent. The creature looked like a huge gorilla with its dark fur and curious eyes, but there was something about this creature that made it very different from a gorilla. It didn't move like they did, and from a little he could see its mannerisms were more akin to that of a human than an ape. He concluded it was a Bigfoot and shared the footage online. Looking at it myself, I can see where he's coming from. I only wish the footage was not so blurry so we could do a thorough analysis. But what do you think? If that one didn't quite do it for you, we have another angel sighting that was captured in the sky over the ocean. In the video, a humanoid figure with wings appears, which some viewers have likened to an angel. Unlike the previous angel-shaped cloud sighting, this entity is a glowing white light. It's interesting to note that this is how most people imagine or believe angels to appear, as luminous beings. The sighting generated mixed reactions from the viewers. Some were convinced that this was a true angel, while others remained skeptical. They suggested that it could be a hologram projection or a blue beam projection. However, it's worth considering the possibility that it could be a natural phenomenon, such as a rare cloud formation. What are your thoughts? Do you believe it was a genuine angel sighting, or was it a projection or something else entirely? If you doubted that, then what do you think about this clip as well? The footage on your screen was also recorded from the same area. The one who saw it posted it online, believing the jets were chasing the UFO. I mean, if anyone saw a jet fighter and a UFO in the sky, that's certain to be the first thing that came to mind. But once the clip hit the internet, people thought otherwise. They actually believed that the jet fighters were escorting the UFO instead. This made a number of them believe it had to be man-made. But is it though? Well, we can't say for sure, but many who saw the clip believe it was the real deal. They believed the spacecraft gave off a hum that could not be made up. Apparently, many others recorded and saw it as well. We did some digging around and found none of these clips, but perhaps we're searching in the wrong places. What do you guys think? Real or not? If you love ghost stories, here's a bizarre one unfolding on a street surveillance camera. In this eerie footage, across the road, a figure materializes, and it's unlike anything anyone has ever seen before. It's like a dark, swirling mass in the shape of an otherworldly being, and it's enough to send a chill down your spine. The figure has an upper torso that's strangely bent in an unnatural way, and its head, well, it's a whole different level of weird. It's reminiscent of something you'd find in an alien sci-fi thriller. This being, or whatever it is, moves calmly and eerily across the road, seemingly unnoticed by any of the drivers passing by. Cemeteries are creepy places, and there have been various tales of strange and disturbing encounters that have left people traumatized. One such encounter is this one right here. In the heart of the cemetery, an unsettling scene unfolds as a bizarre creature is spotted engaged in an eerie activity, digging amidst the graves. With dark fur and arms that defy the norm, this creature is one that's not easy to categorize. Adding to the strange look, a pair of dog-like ears protrude from the top of its head as it meticulously uses its oddly shaped arms to unearth the earth. Could it be? Could we actually be looking at the Dogman, the one cryptid that's been a source of fascination and fear in folklore and urban legend? My paranormal enthusiasts seem to think so. Skepticism suggests it might just be a person donning a dog mask, creating a chilling spectacle for some unknown purpose. Still, there's something about the whole scene that just feels utterly unsettling and wrong. Can you find what it is, or am I just being paranoid? This next footage was taken at an unknown location with no information whatsoever about where or when it was captured.
Yo, look at that. Look at everybody in the highway right now. I don't know, bro.
In the footage, we see people gathered along the roadside, some parked and out of their cars, all pointing their cameras and phones at the sky. The object they're filming is a flat craft hovering in the air with a blue round light at its bottom. Everyone seemed both awestruck and curious about this UFO-like object in the sky. The craft itself is eerie and mesmerizing, its flat shape and the glowing blue light at its bottom giving it an otherworldly appearance, unlike any known aircraft or drone. What could this be? Is it an advanced human-made drone, a military experiment, or something extraterrestrial? The lack of information about the location or context makes it even more mysterious. Some in the paranormal community think it's a cleverly stitched and edited clip, whereas others think this has got to be the real deal. You've seen the clip yourself. What do you think?
Yo, look at that.
Do you love lizards? If you do, we've got a large one for you. Take a look. This huge creature is none other than the monitor lizard. Monitor lizards are indeed massive reptiles that belong to the lizard family Varanidae. These impressive creatures are known for their size, with some species growing to lengths of over 6 feet and weighing hundreds of pounds. They also have a powerful build complemented by sharp claws and forked tongues, which they use to sense their environment. While they're fascinating creatures, it's crucial to admire them from a safe distance, as some species can be quite formidable.
Oh, see it right there? What is it? A bone. Bone. I don't see it. Oh, it is. Oh! What was that? Hello? Yep, get the out of there!
Here we have another chilling clip, this time from explorers who ventured into an abandoned paper mill deep in the woods of Pennsylvania. It seems people just can't resist poking around places marked abandoned, can they? These two men wandered into the mill, eventually finding their way into a cave-like structure that opened into a space littered with old machinery, stacks of wooden debris. While exploring, one of them noticed a bone lying on the ground. Was it human? Animal? Well, they couldn't tell, but continued their exploration anyway. As they continued looking around, they started calling out, just messing around, when something truly unsettling happened. They heard a low, faint sound. At first, they thought it might be an animal or even just the wind, but then it happened again, and this time it sounded like a voice saying, "Help." The men freaked out and ran out of there, leaving the eerie mystery behind. They uploaded it online seeking opinions, but everyone just told them to go back with the cops. What would you have done in their shoes?
Hello? Yep, get the out of there! Yep, no more of that.
And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we will post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.